Cristiano Ronaldo is easily one of the most recognizable players in the world. You'd struggle to go to any country and find someone who doesn't know Cristiano Ronaldo. Why is that? Why is he so known around the world? Of course, you could say he's an incredible player, he's worked very hard to become the best, or if not, one of the best players in the world. But there's something different about Ronaldo. There are certain characteristics about him that make him stand out from your typical successful athlete. I'll tell you one thing that's for sure. Ronaldo may not be the most talented player or the most successful, but he's definitely the most iconic, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, we can't talk about a player as prolific as Cristiano Ronaldo without talking about his goals. We've all seen the goals he scored along the way, but a few of them just stand out for just how iconic they are and how much they evoke a memory of a specific time, a specific era, and just the context of the situation. Like this long-range goal he scored against Porto to win the Puskas Award, or the header he scored in the Champions League final where he rose above everyone else and put United in front after about 26 minutes. Or even at Real Madrid, the backheel goal he scored against Valencia to equalize in the 90th minute. Or very famously, the bicycle kick against Juventus in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. And my personal favorite, his last minute free kick to equalize against Spain in the 2018 World Cup. Those are all goals that would be career defining for many players, but for Ronaldo, they just form part of this collection of goals that create this aura around the man. Staying on the subject of goals, I challenge you to find me a player, just one player, who has half the range and extent of goal celebrations that Cristiano Ronaldo has. You'd almost think that he has a separate training session just to work on goal celebrations, and given just how driven that guy is, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I think Ronaldo's goal celebrations, and the fact that he has so many, tell us two things about him. Firstly, he's very confident in himself and he has true belief in his ability. You have to be very confident in yourself to work on your goal scoring ability, but also come up with a goal celebration that fits the situation and answers the critics perfectly. Like when Ronaldo scored against Atletico, or when Ronaldo scored a few years back and he had the salute celebration in response to Sepp Blatter. There's obviously more examples of those sort of celebrations from Ronaldo, but my point is that they're indicative of the sort of character and mentality that he has, that instead of just taking the criticism with his eyes closed and just answering on the pitch, he goes one step further and directly answers the critics by celebrating in a very in-your-face way. The second thing that it tells us is that Ronaldo is one of the few players in the world who's willing to cultivate and grow his brand and set himself apart from other players. I mean, who on this planet hasn't seen the siii celebration? If that isn't iconic, then I really need to look up the definition of the word. What also makes Ronaldo so iconic are his unique little quirks and mannerisms that let you know that he knows that the cameras are on him and he has to give a little something, a little wink for the camera. The biggest example is obviously Ronaldo's free kick stance, of which if you've actually played football and tried it, you'll quickly realize that there's no advantage to it. It really just puts a strain on your hamstring, but it looks cool. And that's why Ronaldo does it. Not everything he does has to be aerodynamically sound and efficient and geared for perfection. Sometimes he just likes to do things just to do them, like a regular person. You know, things that look cool, or funny for that matter. Who doesn't like Ronaldo's tippy-toe stance for team pictures that serves no purpose at all considering he's like 6'1", 6'2"? It may not be particularly useful or serve a purpose, but it definitely does set him apart.
I'm unbelievable inside the pitch. This is why the people have so much interest on me.
Are you the best footballer in the world right now?
I think so, yes. In my mind, I'm always the best.
The last thing about Ronaldo that I truly think makes him stand out is his arrogance. Of course, that's one of the reasons that many people don't like Ronaldo, but For me, it's what makes him truly the most iconic player. The fact that he goes against the grain and he's not afraid of having the stigma of being a player who's full of himself, who's not afraid to stand up to the press. The problem is that, as I said in another video, although it was on a different topic, in the football world, if you're not meek and you're not humble and you're not just afraid of the press and afraid of coming across as a bad guy, you get this sort of reputation as arrogant and full of himself and whatever. But for Ronaldo, that doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, he uses that billing as motivation and fuel for the way he performs on the field. Take for example when Portugal came up against Sweden in the qualifiers for the 2014 World Cup. The match was essentially billed as Ronaldo versus Zlatan. Which star would take their team to the World Cup? After winning the first leg by a goal to nil at home, Portugal went to Sweden. In the days leading up to the second leg, the press billed the match as this game that would finally see Ronaldo get exposed or bested by the better player.
Welcome to the Friends Arena on this night of destiny. Ronaldo comprehensively won the first clash of the footballing titans on Friday. Could this be the night for Zlatan?
As you can imagine, Ronaldo took that a little personally. In classic Ronaldo fashion, he scored a hat-trick to take Portugal to the World Cup, but he wasn't quite satisfied. After scoring his third goal of the match, Ronaldo celebrated in a way that could only be described as arrogant and capable of even inciting a riot, but he didn't care. He wanted it to be known that as far as being the best player in the world, he's the one, he's the guy. And personally, I wouldn't be the one to discourage a player from feeling that way. When a player feels that way about themselves, it brings out something about them, something within them that they might not even have known about, and we as fans get to enjoy watching them. So to conclude this video, I hope I didn't sound too biased considering Ronaldo is one of my favorite players, but I also hope you take my points into consideration. And if you disagree, do let me know why. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, and if you like my channel, make sure you subscribe.